for smokers to be an alternative to cigarettes. From its simple-to-use interface to its clean technology, well, Juul has no cigarette ash, odor, or mess. So if you're one of the 34 million adults who smoke, know that there is an alternative to cigarettes. Now, to discover the smoking alternative that's nothing like you've tried, visit JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. That's JUUL.com/SwitchAmerica. And warning, this product does contain nicotine, and nicotine is an addictive chemical.
National headlines, Georgia State news and sports, and the local stories you care about. News Talk 1330 WLBB, Carrollton.
Welcome to the WLBB Community Voice Program, our show brought to you by Tanner Health System here on News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. And as we continue our interviews with our candidates for Carroll County Commissioner, District 4 and 5, and of course Carroll County Chairman, we've been posting all of our interviews on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. You can see my guest this morning, one of 4 candidates running for District 4 Commissioner. Wants to complete the unexpired term of Michelle Morgan. She resigned a couple months back to seek the Carroll County Chairman position. Gentleman this morning, his name is Alan Griffith, and when he filled out the paperwork at the Carroll County Courthouse, put Alan Gump Griffith. Yes, so apparently that's a name that wants friends and people that know him might recognize the name. First of all, Gump, where's that coming from?
Believe it or not, it actually came from the fire department. Carroll County Fire when I went through rookie school. So it's been my nickname for 19 years now.
Yeah. So are you married to Jenny?
No.
Well, let's talk about your interest in seeking this race. You learned about 2 months ago that this position would be open. Would you have been interested in seeking this position 2 years from now, or were you kind of motivated just seeing that it was open right now?
Well, I've talked about it for a couple of years and just throwing it around, and some of my fireman buddies says, well, you ought to run, I'd vote for you. And so I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. So, and luckily that Michelle Morgan decided to step down and run for chairman, and I'm like, okay, I see my opportunity, so let's give it a try.
You mentioned firemen, working in the fire department twice here. You don't work with them anymore. You're a paramedic. But
I am.
Introduce yourself. If you're knocking on my door and I'm greeting you at the door, tell me who you are and what you're seeking to do.
My name's Alan Griffith. I'm married. I have 2 children. They're 8 and 3. I graduated from Central. In 2000, my senior year in high school, I started volunteering for Carroll County Fire Rescue. Did that for 8 years. Went through EMT school. Got my EMT in 2004. Went to work for West Georgia Ambulance full-time from 2004 to 2008. Then in 2008, I went career for Carroll County Fire Rescue. Spent almost 9 years there, received my paramedic, stepped down, wanted to pursue my career as a paramedic for West Georgia Ambulance, and that's where I currently work. Started there in 2017. And being in public safety for 19 years, being a patient advocate, I decided to run for District 4 because I wanted to be the voice of the people in my district. I want their voices to be heard. And I felt like with my experience, I could make sure that their voices are heard, their concerns are heard, and I would push for them and make them feel like they are needed in the county.
We have other candidates, maybe not just District 4, but District 5 as well. Lifelong public safety, a commitment to public safety. I guess working in that for 2 decades. What what particular traits or a skill set that would you bring as a commissioner? Well, what would you be the go-to guy for if anybody else in the commission had questions, or the chairman had questions about specific things?
For almost 2 decades, being as a fireman and a paramedic, I can help them understand the workings of the fire department as far as Carroll County. And 2, being that voice for their concerns and bringing it to the board and say, okay, this is what they want fixed. This is what their issues are. What can we do to make it happen? And so that's the reason why I'm so passionate about it, because they have felt like, they haven't been heard. Of course, Michelle Morgan has done an awesome job, and I wish her and every other candidate the best of luck. So that's where I feel like I could be a good voice as District 4 Commissioner.
Alan Griffith is one of 4 candidates running for that Carroll County District 4 seat on the Board of Commissioners. He's our guest this morning. Questions and comments, feel free to call us at 678-601-8255, 678-601-TALK. And you can also post your comments and questions to the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. We'll try and take a peek at those and pass those along sometime during the program. We talk a lot about your work with firefighting. Pay for first responders has been a big topic during this campaign for District 4, 5, and for the chairman. I guess firsthand experience in that role. I mean, I guess discuss that pay and how you think a lot of firefighters, for example, feel.
When I first came in as a fireman back in 2008, our pay was $8.05 an hour. That's walking the door.
That is surprising to people when they're hearing it. In here at 9 now. I think that's surprising to people.
But and when I left, I was firefighter 2 paramedic, and my pay was just a little over $11 an hour. A lieutenant makes roughly $12, and which is not competitive at all. The fire department and the sheriff's department should be, I believe, the 2 highest paid departments in the county, because they risk their lives day in and day out to keep the community safe. And I've talked with other people, and about 90% of Carroll County is fire rescue runs, medical calls. And I believe that there should be incentives of getting, advancing your career as an EMT and a paramedic through the fire department, because medical is so complicated. Because luckily, with fire prevention, the rate of fire calls have dropped tremendously. And, $1 an hour is a good start.
Well, we'll talk more about that when we talk about the budget later on in the program. And you did mention that Michelle Morgan, for 6 years, she was the commissioner for District 4.
Yes.
When you look back over that 6 years, and I'm going to say in particular the last 2 years, anything that you may have disagreed with how she represented or voted or?
No, sir. I believe she did a very good job, and like I said, I believe she can continue to do good work along with the rest of the candidates. So,
as possible, Chairman. It's 20 minutes before 9 o'clock. We're going to take our first break. Our guest right now this morning, the final guest that we'll be interviewing as far as these special elections that are ongoing. Election day is June the 18th. We are halfway through the second week of early voting. Alan Gump Griffith, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. We'll take our first break, come back and talk with him a little bit more. Community Voice brought to you by Tanner Health System, News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. And this morning you can see us on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. More after this.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
.841, welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program. Our show brought to you by Tanner Health System, News Talk 1330 FM 106.3. And this morning streaming live on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. Good morning to you all. Good morning to my good friend Ricky Rayburn, who's checked in on the News Talk 1330 Facebook page. I'm Colin Worthington. Our guest this morning, Alan Griffith. He is one of 4 candidates seeking the District 4 position on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. That's about a year and a quarter, year and a third that they'll sit in that office. Whoever wins, they'll be in that office until we have Election Day again at the end of 2020, and new term would start in 2021. Again, this is the unexpired term for Michelle Morgan, who resigned about 2 months ago to seek the Carroll County chairman position. Let us talk about T-Splost. We'll go over some of the questions that we have talked about with previous candidates, and again, these are issues that seem to be important to our listeners, people that have talked about things they wanted to know, things that are relevant to the county, and that you could have an effect on. Transportation special purpose local option sales tax. Voters went to the polls last November, and they voted against that. That would be an extra penny that would go towards transportation related projects in Carroll County. There were there were ways they were talking about how that could help the general budget as well, as far as increasing pay for public safety. But voters shot that down. If you were on the Board of Commissioners, you will have the opportunity to speak out and say, hey, let's put this towards voters again. Let's give them another try. Maybe we can promote it different. Would you be in favor of putting it in front of voters again?
Honestly, I believe that it could have been explained a lot better. But since they've, voted it down twice, I think we should just let it lie for a little while.
Well, they voted down twice. I think the first time was more of a state thing, right? I mean, that wasn't Carroll County. They were lumping us in with another, with a whole district, and people just weren't fond of not knowing. And I think we would have been like last on the totem pole even to get that money. And,
yes, sir.
And wouldn't have to call for that. But as far as Carroll County voters, they did vote it down once.
But I think if it was explained and more transparent, and you actually presented it to the citizens, like, okay, we want to, for the next 10 years, build more sidewalks, put street lights, stuff like that, pave the roads, put more hydrants on county roads, dirt roads, stuff like that. I think it would go over a lot better, and they might actually vote on it to approve the T-Splosh. But I'm on the fence about that. I really honestly believe that we should just not really bring it up this year and just sort of let it lie, and maybe next year bring it up. If that makes sense.
It does. And do you see a reasonable way of, if we need money for roads, have you taken a peek at the budget? And
I have, yes, sir.
Do you see things that could be cut out that the money could instead go to repair roads? And
I have. I haven't really had a chance to really dig down and see what we could cut out, but there is some stuff that we could and move monies around that could possibly make it happen. Going back to, public safety, the $1 an hour raise is a good thing.
And that's in the proposed budget,
right? Yes,
now.
sir. Okay. And there's other ways that there's grants out there that you can get to help subsidize getting more personnel and helping with the budget. Like, in 2005, we had the SAFER grant, and that allowed. In 2006, we were able to get more firemen in, so we could have 2-man stations, and that was over a 5-10 year program. And once that grant ran out, then it sort of helped cushion the budget for Carroll County to continue to pay the personnel. But as far as the T-Splosh, I believe that, like I said, it could be planned out better. It can be explained to the citizens a lot better. And once you make it more transparent, I believe that they would actually vote on it and agree to have it.
We'll take a look at some more comments here on Facebook. Vicky Griffith, she's watching you. And let's see here. A gentleman by the name of Stephen Stapleton says, no better candidate that truly cares about the community and the public safety professionals that serve and protect our area. Also, a young lady named Randy said she's proud of you. And Vicky Muse Griffith also saying they're proud of you. Again, Alan Griffith, our guest on this morning's Community Voice program. We'll kind of stick with the budget right now. Millage rate is another way to generate some revenue. Raising the millage rate to generate some revenue. If it comes down to that, as far as like if that's the only way that county commissioners feel like they can find to generate money to get these raises, would you be in favor of raising the millage rate?
I would, especially if it was done in very small increments, like 0.25%, so it does not tax the citizens' budget. Because I know a lot of people in Carroll County are on a fixed budget, and when you start raising the millage rate and taxes go up, they start getting concerned. And if you do it a little bit at a time, then I think they would be more apt to it than straight 1% raise. But we need the money coming in. The millage rate hasn't been raised in years, and when you raise the millage rate, and if you explain it to the people, saying, okay, we're raising the millage rate, and this is what it's going to, and lay it all out for them, I think they would be fine with that. Because when you raise taxes, they want to know where their money's going to. And are you actually going to use that money to go with what you're saying it's going for? And so, yes, if we lay it out like that, I believe that a millage rate increase would work.
Is improving pay for public safety and first responders, is that the biggest issue that Carroll County government's facing right now?
I believe so, yes. Because in my time as a fireman, this has probably been one of the biggest turnovers I have seen in my career. And being a fireman, sheriff's deputy, it's a calling. You don't do it for the money. You don't do it to get rich. You do it for the people. And we have so many great men and women in public safety that lay their lives every day for people they don't even know. And takes a special group of people to do something like that.
Every year in the budget, Carroll County approves a certain amount of money to go to some local nonprofits, and I can think of about 6 or 7 or maybe more that they do every year. Is that the responsibility for Carroll County government? Should that be part of the local budget every year?
I think so, because there are a bunch of great nonprofit organizations, such as the Soup Kitchen, and they rely on donations from citizens, and they need a little extra help because they have expenses as well. So I'm in favor of continuing that.
We're close to a year on the Carroll Connections transportation system.
Yes, sir.
Here in Carroll County. Started last year. Currently, it's being half paid by federal grant, half by Carroll County.
Right.
I want to say after 3 years, will be a point soon to where the county ought to decide they want to take it over and pay the entire thing. When it comes to that point, can you discuss, how you'll decide whether the county should continue with that, or should they just not?
Right, because I actually looked into this, and to be able to ride on there, you've got to have a 24-hour reservation. The thing is with it, people rely on that to go grocery shopping, go to doctor's appointments, stuff like that. And instead of having a 24-hour heads up, I think it should be like Monday through Friday, because it's hard to plan 24 hours in advance because you don't know what's going to happen in that time span. So I believe we need to look into it, look at the budget, look at how much it's going to cost once the grant's up, and see if we can revamp it enough to make it sustain it. So I'd have to do a lot more research on that
when it comes around.
Yes, sir.
10 minutes before 9 o'clock on this Wednesday, our guest this morning is Alan Griffith. He's one of 4 candidates running for county commissioner for District 4 to complete the unexpired term of Michelle Morgan. The other 3 candidates in this race: John Bryan, he's an insurance agent. Steve Fuller is retired. Mark Sullivan is a firefighter over in Douglas County. We've interviewed all 4 of these gentlemen now, including Alan. So if you missed any of those shows, you can go back to our podcast on our website, newstalk1330.com, and listen to all the candidates speak and get their ideas. And I believe all 4 of them are on the Newstalk 1330 Facebook page, too. So you can check them out there as well. This is the second full week of early voting. Got one more week for early voting, which will be next week, and then election day is June the 18th, Tuesday. And News Talk 1330 will broadcast live beginning at 7 o'clock after the polls are closed. You can also listen to KISS 102.7 that evening, and we will count the votes with you. So stick around for that coming up. We'll take our final break right now and come back and wrap up our program with Alan Griffith, again, one of 4 candidates running for the Carroll County District 4 spot on the Carroll County Board of Commissioners. We'll take our final break, come back with more after this.
At Tanner, we're advancing health throughout West Georgia and East Alabama. Because we know that exceptional care isn't based on how many patients we serve, but how well we serve them. That's why we're focused on quality, delivering the best possible care for our patients. It's why we're expanding our clinical services and building new facilities to serve our growing community. And it's why we're looking beyond our hospitals and medical practices to develop sustainable wellness and preventive health programs in our region. What makes a hospital great has changed. It's not how many beds we have. It's how well we care for the neighbors who need them. Delivering the right care to every patient, every time, is how Tanner is advancing health with medicine beyond measure. Learn more at tanner.org or find a physician on our medical staff by calling 770-214-CARE.
8:54. Welcome back to the WLBB Community Voice Program. Our show brought to you by Tanner Health System. News Talk 1330, FM 106.3. And this morning, check us out on the News Talk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. And when this program is over, you can visit our website, newstalk1330.com, for the podcast of this show. And also at 9:02, you can visit the Facebook page if you missed any of this program and go back and watch it all in its entirety. I'm Colin Worthington. Our guest is Alan Griffith, one of 4 candidates for the Carroll County District 4 position on the Board of Commissioners. A lot of talk about growth and how commissioners will react to that and how they'll cope with that, if they're in favor of it, saving the agricultural heritage of portions of the county anyway. What's your perspective on that?
growth is a good thing, but we also need to keep our small town feel. You've got 27, you've got 61 that's zoned for commercial. You have access points to get for business to grow. But as far as agricultural, farmers are the backbone. I mean, if you look around Metro Atlanta, a lot of people are losing farmlands, and we need to stick with the rural culture. And subdivisions.
Well, say a gentleman owns a lot of property, or him and his family, a woman owns a lot of property that currently zoned for agriculture, and they'd like to build a subdivision. What was the process? What would be the process? How would you look at that to decide whether or not you'd be in favor of rezoning that to allow subdivision to come in?
Well, first off, I would go around and ask, the neighbors of the people around that area and see what they would think. Would they want a subdivision in there? Would they want, a commercial building? And if they say they wouldn't want it, then I'd have to go by what the people say.
You'd stick with District 4, what they say, not...
Right, correct. Because when you become, especially for me, if I'm elected as District 4 Commissioner, then my ultimate goal is to be the voice of the people. And I want to make the people happy. That's bottom line. So if the neighbors are not for it, then we would have to sit down and talk with the homeowner and discuss options and see how they would feel about it.
Earlier this year, there was a bid, just regular bids on some machinery for public works, and it did kind of stir up some local businesses, frustrated with the way that was handled. Carroll County Commissioners decided to accept a state bid, basically, and it's legal. It's just the way it's been done. The state puts out somebody who allows to give product to counties, and they have a set bid. But some local businesses were frustrated at the fact that they didn't get a chance to bid on it. They just never did. They didn't say that their bid could be lower, but they at least wanted the chance to bid. It wasn't against the law for the county to go ahead and do that. But should they go, check out the local bids first, at least give those guys an opportunity, considering they do pay taxes?
Honestly, I believe that it should be, because I understand it would be hard to probably a state bid would be a lot lower, but we should keep the money in the county. And if these local businesses say, hey, well, we can give you X amount of tractors for this price or X amount of equipment for this price, I think we should really sit down and figure out, say, okay, we'll be paying a little bit more money, but yet it will stay in the county. And it will not only profit the local businesses that we're losing constantly, that I really feel like that we should.
We have about 2 minutes left in the program. How can people get in touch with you if they have a question that maybe we didn't touch on this morning?
I've got a Facebook page. It's Alan Gump Griffith for District 4 Commissioner.
It's ALAN.
Yes, sir. I've got my email address on there, gump8113 and my phone number is on there as well.
All right, as we wrap up the program, what do you want people to remember about you, about talking to you this morning?
I just want people to realize that whoever wins for District 4, just remember, if you vote for me, I will make sure that I'm your voice, and I will try to uphold my honor to the people of District 4, because I love this county. I've served this county for almost 2 decades now, and I will be your voice.
Alan Griffith, one of 4 candidates running for the County Commissioner District 4 position. and our guest this morning. We do appreciate you coming by.
Thank you for having me.
The show will be on our website, newstalk1330.com, complete podcast, and of course it'll be on the Newstalk 1330 WLBB Facebook page. So if you missed any of it, you can go visit that. Early voting continues this week. It's all of next week as well at the Carroll County Elections Office in Carrollton. And then Election Day is Tuesday, the 18th. Polls close at 7 o'clock on Tuesday. And then tune in to Newstalk 1330 FM 106.3 or KISS 102.7. And we will share the results with you. Have a great Wednesday, everybody.